Why hello everyone. Welcome. Welcome back to the Chalice Dungeons on PlayFrame in Bloodborne with Dans, etc. So,
we're here.
We're here.
We're ready.
We're ready. Boy, we better be, because we are in the Chalice Dungeons and we are in the Defiled Chalice. We're in that one that sucks most.
Mm-hmm.
We have less health. Like our health bar has been cut in half. So, yeah. Fortunately, I did do most of what was needed in this one before. In this one before, so we can run right to that there boss, who's waiting oh so patiently and stylishly. We're gonna have to beat 3 bosses in this mess. The third one is absolutely the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this because I helped Dan beat these bosses on his side, on stream, which we've linked to before, but I'll link to again, or maybe to the VOD on your YouTube VODs channel, so folks can watch it. It's lengthy, but the finish is incredible.
Oh, it's unbelievable still, thinking back on it.
That's one of the most, like, top 10 co-op gaming moments of life right there. Top 5, actually. That was pretty incredible. But yeah, we're gonna try to do it here on this side now. This first boss, well, they're all potentially very rough, so we're just gonna do the best we can with what little health we have.
Ooh. Okay, I didn't know what that attack was.
You know, it's interesting. Usually my terrible, like, timing with saying something and then getting myself killed usually doesn't transfer to others.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, like, I can't get somebody else killed by saying something unfortunate and timely. But anyway, get ready for this. It's the Defiled Chalice.
Get ready.
So while we're trying to do this nightmare challenge, I actually had a thought earlier this week that I was excited to ask you about. I don't watch a lot of TV these days just for lack of time, but it occurred to me, it has been ages since I was watching a TV show and saw that show, saw that show portray people playing video games with absolutely zero idea of what video games are and how they work. Because I remember growing up that being somewhat constant.
Yeah. A lot of, like, the either wrong controller or it's not a controller and there's nothing plugged in, or it's not even a game on the screen and they're just doing the, like, I'm moving a lot.
Yeah, just the really super focused, intense sort of like 90s video game commercial behavior. I was trying to think, because comments, if you've seen somebody portray video games entirely incorrectly in a show recently, by all means, chime in, because I'd be very curious to see if that still happens. Like now when you see video games portrayed in movies or on TV, it's like sort of in the Avengers Endgame, where, like, all right, you got a few of them just playing Fortnite and one of them trash talks on the mic. Like, they're telling jokes that come from understanding how people play video games. And in my day, I remember, I think my favorite was an episode of Heroes where it was a mom and her son, and the son was playing a video game on the PS3, and she was watching and commenting on it, and then came and sat down and picked up another controller, and they started like, oh, I'm gonna get you, we're gonna do like, oh, here we go, you versus me, here we go. On screen, meanwhile, is Heavenly Sword, the single-player game. Trailer footage from Heavenly Sword, the single-player game, as they're cutting back and forth between, like, trailer footage of Heavenly Sword, single-player gameplay, cutting back to the mom and son, sort of like, oh, you almost caught me that time. It was pretty bad. Like, clearly...
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
Clearly, they did not know what they were playing. I'm kind of guessing that the game footage got chosen in retrospect based on whoever was willing to pay for the product placement.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's maybe my favorite example that I can recall. Chime in the comments with your faves. Ow. Fire. So yeah, I need to not goof. We're, like, one hit can mean death on any one of these fights from now on, so it's serious times. Can't be talking about video games on TV. So I'm kind of loving this whole corner situation.
Oh, yeah,
I
I got thirsty, Dan.
You know, that'll happen. Ow. Yee. Okay. So yeah, everyone get kind of ready for this. This is just sort of what this chalice is.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sucks.
With a lot of long boss fights.
A lot of long boss fights you got to be real careful about, because one mistake means the end.
Did you just die?
Nope, still alive, but I've done almost 0 damage.
There would have been a good spot to die. Right,
It would have been, like... It would have fit the pattern very well. Can she shoot fire through the... No, she can't. Cool. Then... Way into that fire, this one. Ah, yeah, okay, well, there we go. I'll have you back in here shortly.
All right. So Comments pointed this out a while back, and I just noticed another visual for it.
Ooh.
The next time you're in the Hunter's Dream, look at the Chalice grave that is closest to the building, like the highest one up.
Okay.
And so you remember that maggot covered body that was by the fishing hamlet that I was looking at?
Yeah. Was it the one that was hanging up, or was it the pile of bodies? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
The hanging up ones.
Yeah.
It's the same as the hunter glyph.
Wait, really?
The hunter's mark. Yeah. So like if you look at the hunter's mark in your thing, and like the neck was that center column, and then the arms were crossed that certain way.
Hunter's mark.
There's even like a further version of it on the gravestone in the I only know this because it's literally where I had the cursed chalice. So I go and see it right before I get summoned in. But it's even got the like crossed over leg as part of the hunter's mark.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, like the Carol Runes inventory tab is the I don't know why that closed on me. Is the hunter's mark there, and ooh, excellent.
Yeah,
got you coming in. Yeah, that's cool. I had not noticed that the body hanging up there, like, itself made the hunter's mark shape. That's really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Like, as soon as the comments pointed out, I went back and looked, and I was like, oh, that is pretty slick. And I just saw that grave thing, which made me think of it. So thanks, Comments.
Yeah, thanks, Comments. Y'all have definitely pointed out a few neat things that I didn't even remember or know to look for in the first place. So, much appreciated. There's just so much to discover in these games that even after playing them a bunch of times and watching a bunch of videos from a bunch of smart people about them, there's still new discoveries all over the dang place. It's great. All right. Yeah. Ah, I've gotten in a hit. We're on our way. Nope, no fire. None of that, please. Maybe I should use this form of the weapon for getting more hits in. And the reach. Alright. Focus times.
That one shot me. Jeez Louise.
Ouchies. So,
woof.
So y'all remember last week, when Dan and I were talking about how, like, maybe we'll do this, maybe we won't. This is why.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult. And there's 3 boss fights. This is not even the worst one, by far. They kind of escalate. I think they escalate in difficulty from my recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this one's hard. The one after that is harder, as I recall it. The third one's nasty.
Yeah, third one is mean.
Yeah. But we're going to try. We're honestly going to try here today, and if things are just not going well, we kind of have a backup plan, probably, for what we'll do instead, so that y'all can still see whether I can get there on my game, whether that or not, we'll still see all the cool stuff at the bottom of this darn mess.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry about all the sirens and rumbling outside. That one led to the other. the Dominics and Chads, and there are many of them, it turns out, in our neighborhood. When they drive past, it tends to set off car alarms. By the way, holy cow, something happened kind of in the long stretch, sort of like between when we were able to record last. So usually, like, we've got some of those street racers who, like, who bless us with their presence from time to time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is nothing compared to what happened a couple of weeks ago. We were noticing, wow, it's really loud out there one day, and it's like persistently loud, and it's not going away. So I looked outside. We kind of live near an intersection, and I saw, wow, there's a lot of traffic. It's like completely stopped traffic, like no one's moving. And I saw why. It was an entire, like, enormous rally of Dominics, basically, intentionally blocking the road, like every entry into that intersection, so that they could take turns, like, doing donuts in the center of it and filming each other. It was, and like half of the cars had wild, like, neon lighting going on, or like were peeling out in place so that they were like just completely smoke clouding up our entire street to where we could not see out the window. Blasting music. It was bonkers.
Wow.
I'm really glad we weren't trying to record that night.
Yeah, that
lasted. It was a while before cops finally came and like were able to like make them disperse. It was quite a thing to see. And I was very annoyed about it, but like also like they clearly coordinated. Like they had a whole bunch of cars there like blocking the road so nobody could potentially get anywhere near that intersection easily, which is good because it would have been very unsafe for them to be there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there were that many. I didn't realize that Dominic rolled that deep, I guess, is the thing. And I should have known that. Like, if you don't have family, what do you have? Ah, jeez. Well, I guess get ready to see a lot of this fight today, everybody.
Yeah. So the thing that's rough about these fights, just for you, when you play friends watch and you're like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. The problem is it's like, it's pretty much one slip up and you die. And because of how much health, like, these Chalice bosses have, they're very just, like, long, drawn-out fights. It's starting to approach that territory that I hate in video games where they're just like, it's a damage sponge. And you just hit it a lot. Like, it's weird how a fine line that is, that I never feel that really in a Souls game. But then as soon as it starts to eke that way, I'm like, oh, I'm getting the annoying sensors going off.
Yeah, like it does tip over from this is perfectly fine and just, oh, it's just a tanky boss, that's okay, to very suddenly it hits like, I hate this.
Yeah. It's one of those things that like I applaud them for like how well they balance and design the fights. So like even if there is a fight that like goes on long or has a lot of health or can one shot or two shot you, it still feels like a achievable fight.
Yeah.
And these just feel like a chore.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they play with those sliders, it's like
Yeah, no, it's pretty rough. Having that much, I wish that they at least, fine if you gotta cut our health in half, at least make them not be so tanky.
Yeah.
Fine even if they hit us as hard as they do to where we have to be really careful. But making it, like, dragging that fight out for such a long endurance test, and it's not even an endurance test, it's just a be super careful, because one slip up you might die, two slip ups you definitely die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
It's like that. It's a weird line of when losing the fight becomes less stressful about like, oh dang, I almost beat that boss, and the stress becomes I don't want to do this again. Like,
yeah,
I think that's my issue with when you have like tanky enemies like that. Because I don't care how I do in the fight. I just don't want to do it again, and the stress comes from like, I hope I don't mess up, so I'm done with this.
Yeah, no, that's not a fun state to have to be in. And I wonder if this challenge happened way earlier in the game, or was available way earlier in the game. I guess it is technically, but if I came across a challenge scaled down to where I was at level 20 or 30, where it was just 1 or 2 hits and I was done, and a comparable number of hits to kill the enemy, I'd probably be a little bit more on board with doing it. But like, inevitably, when you're doing this, you've already played a lot of Bloodborne, and you may be like ready to, you may be ready to move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think a lot of it too is like, you know, these are all fights that, you know, we've done.
Yeah, there's that too.
So it's like, oh, I've already beaten this thing that I know is weaker, and the game is just giving it more health because now it's harder, in quotes, you know?
Yep.
Whereas if it was something completely, totally new, you could kind of like justify like, oh, this is this really intense creature that I've never seen before, and wow, it's really satisfying to fight this new thing that's super strong. Whereas this is like, I know they just gave this enemy more health and more damage.
Yep. Ouchies. Ouchies with the fire.
Man, I keep walking right into that.
I kind of do too. No. No fire. Fire, no. Ow. Didn't expect you to be able to turn around with that. Should have guessed it would happen though. Whew.
Oh.
There we go. That'll help a little bit.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. Ouchies. With the fire. Nope. Nope. Be distracted. I'm distracting. Ah, darn it.
Oh.
I was dodging, though. I promise I was dodging. Keeper of the Old Lords. So what are you playing right now, besides this, obviously?
So, one thing I got working today, I haven't streamed it yet, but
Yeah?
I'm probably actually going to stream it after we play tonight because I'm excited to give it a go.
Ooh.
I got a Symphony of the Night randomizer working.
Ooh, that could be a good one.
I'm going to give that a little go.
That could be a real good one.
Surprisingly annoying to set up. Like, it wasn't bad. It's just like, I don't know how to handle PlayStation emulation stuff for mods.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. Like, I've had more advanced systems be easier to run stuff. Like the GameCube, I just ran a Metroid Prime randomizer, which was super fun.
Oh, wow.
Like, Metroid Prime's probably one of my top 10 games.
That's a good one.
The more, like, revisiting it, I was like, I love this. So, like, there's not a part of it that I'm, like, not enjoying. It's just such a... Okay. I want to do, like... I'm sure there's already video essays and stuff like this about it, but, like... It is so impressive to me how many times Nintendo has taken, like, a 2D staple franchise and then nailed it the first time with 3D. Like...
It's pretty wild, right?
It's bonkers.
I'm trying to think of a... Like, it's much harder to think of a franchise that Nintendo had going... Like, coming out of the Super Nintendo era that made the jump to 3D and didn't turn out well. So, like, okay, there's Donkey Kong 64, which is a rare title.
Yeah.
But I guess if we count Metroid Prime, which was a retro, like, games, then sure. Okay, so Donkey Kong didn't transfer super gracefully.
Yeah, I would classify Donkey Kong.
Punch-Out's first 3D excursion's great.
Yeah, Donkey Kong 64 is definitely kind of like the outlier of the... They didn't quite... Like, it was fun, but it was also, like... They stretched the N64 out a little too far, I think.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, like I guess Mario Kart was probably an easy one, but that turned out great.
Yeah.
Maybe they just made it look easy. I'm sure it was
That's
pretty
true.
hard figuring out at that first time. I can't think of another one.
Like, obviously, Mario 64 is fantastic.
Yep.
Ocarina of Time is still fantastic. Metroid Prime was the first 3D for Metroid.
Yep.
Kid Icarus Uprising, fantastic.
Yeah, I need to play that when I have it. I just never really did sit down and play it. I should.
Control scheme is a little rough because it's a handheld, so I think you're gonna hit that, but it's good. Like, I really want to go and play it because I only got to play from a roommate had it, So every now and then I dabbled, and I had a blast every time I played it, but I never finished it. What else is there? What?
I guess the Mother series is still TBD. What else though?
Although, to be honest, I don't know if I want a 3D. What actually wasn't Mother 3 supposed to be 3D?
I think it was. Yeah, I heard that too. That they like
on the N64. I think.
Yeah, that was in development at one point. I remember hearing about that.
Because they even had little like renders of it that I think you can like find that were really basic.
Yeah, y'all. I don't know exactly where, but I'm sure if y'all Google for that, you will 100% find some of that stuff. Because now that you mention it, I very much remember seeing that stuff. I'm thinking about the Smash Brothers lineup, trying to think, okay, other Nintendo franchises.
Yeah.
Kirby worked in 3D. Kirby 64 is solid. It's like not my favorite Kirby game, but solid.
Would that be 3D though? Because that's still a 2D.
I guess that's true. They didn't like.
It's that 2.5D or whatever they say. Yeah.
Has there been a full 3D Kirby game?
I don't think there has.
I don't think so. Which I'm kind of fine with. I don't think Kirby needs to.
I think the closest Kirby's gotten to 3D is the golf game we played.
Oh, yeah. Heck, that game is good.
It's so good. It doesn't deserve to be that good. Like, who would have thought, like, it's like Pokemon Pinball. Like, it doesn't deserve to be that good, being an offshoot, like, reskinned version of a game, but now it's Pokemon, and it's so good.
Yeah. I was about to say, all right, so Pokemon kind of entered 3D in a few different forms, like the Coliseum stuff and Snap, and then eventually, finally, X and Y. All good.
Yeah. Pokemon felt very like a natural transition, like, because even though, you know, like you're moving on a 2D plane, I feel like it still was very, you know, like an open world experience, you know.
Yeah. That felt like a world and a place.
I'm really struggling with my vocabulary.
That's understandable.
While fighting.
I can understand why you'd be feeling a little distracted right now. I too am kind of speaking with about 15% of my brain right now, because that's all I can afford. Nicely done. I try to go for the follow-up. It's not going to work. Ah.
Oh, I thought I could be cheeky with that.
I'll see if I can. It's not looking good, but I'll see if I can wrap this up. Come on. I'm hiding behind the pillar. You can't find me. You know, you're way more intimidating when you don't get distracted by somebody else. There we go.
Yeah. I also, in terms of other things that I'm playing right now, I started Remnant with some friends. Remnant from the Ashes.
Oh yeah? How's that? I have not tried it.
It's going in a totally different direction than I expected. Which is good, because I thought it was going to be kind of just like it's the apocalypse and Earth is grungy and gross and here's some like demons to fight.
Grungy apocalypse, you don't say.
I thought that was going to be just it, but it's kind of cool. It's basically like a, hey, Earth is dealing with this dimensional threat called the Root, and they're like these tree demon kind of things. It's very The Hunger from Adventure Zone. It's giving me those vibes.
Ooh, cool.
And so far, like what we've done, I've only played like, you know, maybe like 8 hours or so-ish.
Yeah.
But it's like you going to other dimensions that are also fighting this Root and being like, hey, we need help with fighting this Root. You guys seem to have it figured out.
Sounds kind of rad.
And there are like all these like alien races and stuff like that. I was like, I had not expected this to be anything like this, but I'm interested.
It sounds interesting.
And the fact it's built around like 3-player co-op is pretty cool.
Heck yeah, I didn't know that. I need to look that up. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's weird because definitely advertised as a Souls-like, but it's mostly gunplay. It's almost like it gives me Destiny vibes a lot.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There's a melee-esque class that I tried to spec myself as, and a lot of these like cool trinkets that kind of changed up my stats. But the game definitely still feels like it's very, hey, you need to be shooting your gun and not using just melee, even though here's a lot of stuff that's fun with melee, like some of the bosses never get in range. Some of my abilities are like, you have to do a dodge, but if someone shoots at you and you dodge it, it doesn't count as like a dodge. It just, like, you have to avoid a melee attack. So, it's interesting. And obviously when you're in melee and your friends are shooting, there is friendly fire. So sometimes your friends kill you quite often.
Oh dear.
But it's fun.
Yeah, I will look this up. That sounds interesting. I'll tell you what else is fun. Not fighting that boss again. So
Nice.
I don't need to ring my bell again. It still is ringy-dinged. Thank goodness.
Okay, I will proceed forward.
Woo! All right. I would proceed forward, but that's stupid, and I'm not going to. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be smart instead.
Smart Dan.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out.
And I also finally started Bug Snacks.
Bug Snacks. I've not started that yet. I picked it up. I definitely need to try it out to see. I want to see about the animation in it at very least. Also, I want to see what the heck the game is because I'm intrigued.
Enough people recommended it, and like, we've had this conversation before of like, I weirdly like body horror stuff, and it's like right on that edge, like, of like, hey, this game's for kids, but then like, kind of riding that line of like, is this okay? Is this for kids?
I'm super intrigued.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to dipping into that for sure, because from the very first moment all of us laid eyes on it, it's just been a big old question mark of intrigue.
Yeah.
That I needed to know the answers to.
I've only dipped my toes in, like I played an hour. And it's weird. The most like familiar game I could relate it to would probably be Pokemon Snap.
Interesting. That's not what I would have guessed.
Because it's very like you have these bug snacks.
Sure.
And like each one you have to go about like catching a different way, and that's kind of like the whole like puzzle and fun of it.
Okay.
Or at least, you know, for catching these bug snacks. And it's very like, you remember solving puzzles in Pokemon Snap where you had to like, okay, I have to lure this Magikarp with the apples to bounce into the waterfall to like hit the Mankey or whatever, you know?
Oh,
and
yeah.
It feels very much like that. Also, the Muppets, the Grumpuses, are a lot of them. I'm sure kids can play the game and not understand a thing they are talking about, but there are some very like real heavy themes from just the short time I've talked to them that I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Everything you're saying is just like raising more questions that I'm super excited to see answered.
Yeah, like I want to know myself, and these are the reasons that I was like, okay, now I have my attention, because before it was just kind of like, hey, it's a meme game and there's a good song.
Yep. It did seem that.
But it definitely caught my attention.
And honestly, all of your talking about Pokemon Snap comparisons just now has me thinking about, oh man, we're gonna get Pokemon Snap again.
I know. I keep forgetting that's like
They've announced it. It's real.
a real thing. I had forgotten of like, I'm like, I don't know if there's any like Nintendo other than Breath of the Wild 2 and Metroid Prime 4, but who knows when those will be.
Yep.
Of like, what Nintendo game I'm looking, and it's probably Pokemon Snap. I imagine is gonna be before the other two.
That seems likely. I feel like, yeah, Breath of the Wild 2... Oh, jeez.
Because we've at least seen like a hint of hey, not actual gameplay footage.
Yeah, I feel like we're a ways off from Breath of the Wild 2, which, fine. But, and Metroid Prime 4, I just sort of assume is always going to be in development, never coming out.
Honestly, I'm okay with that.
Even though, like, I know it'll actually come out. It's just, it feels like it's been in development forever, so I'm just...
Yeah.
I'm used to it being a logo and nothing else.
I think if it was still with the whatever first studio got it and it was this long, I would kind of be like uncertain, you know?
Yeah.
But I think ever since it got back to retro, I'm like, take as much time as you want because you nailed the first 3, so I trust you.
It hadn't really like settled in my brain yet how long it's been since there's been a proper Metroid game.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
The Wii.
A Wii even, yeah.
And like not even towards I don't even think it was towards the end of the life cycle on the Wii.
And that was Other M, right?
No, jeez, no. I was talking about Metroid Prime 3.
Oh yeah. Which Other M really
Other
is
M
very
exist,
much an
I
offshoot.
guess.
It does exist, and we can't we can't ignore it as much as we'd like.
Metroid Prime 3 is the Zelda CDIs of the Metroid franchise.
Is it because of the like story and dialogue and all that stuff? Is that why?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, hey, we didn't actually read any of the source material, and here's what we... here's these characters. Let's make a game about them. Although, I guess, like, I think the gameplay is actually, like, pretty solid in Other M. From what I've been told, but it is absolutely a butcher fest in terms of their character handling.
It's not good.
Story.
I don't think I beat it. I did play most of it though, and I didn't enjoy the play all that much either.
Oh, really?
I could see why some would enjoy it because like Team Ninja is pretty good at doing that sort of action title thing, but it was definitely not what I wanted from a Metroid experience.
Yeah, I have not played.
I think that's fine.
I was going to get it. I remember when it came out. I was like, oh yeah, another Metroid game. And then my roommate got it, and I watched it, and I love sitting on the couch watching friends play video games. There was a few times I'm like, I'm just walking away. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's rough. And that's the thing. Like I liked Team Ninja at the time then too. Like I was a real big fan of like Ninja Gaiden, Black, and I guess that was kind of, and I guess Dead or Alive was their other thing at the time. But yeah, like Ninja Gaiden was great. And so I was thinking like any franchise in their hands seemed like it was kind of like handing something to Platinum Games now, it felt like.
Okay, yeah.
Where it's like you just know you're in for a heck of an action game. And yeah, Platinum Games has definitely taken the crown on that since then, but...
Man, can we, like, just not find a path here?
Yeah, yeah, like, where the heck...
I feel like we keep doing circles.
Where's the... Did we throw the switch yet? I don't think we did.
No. We haven't even seen, like, another room besides this, like, big chamber.
Yeah, what am I not seeing here?
Is this new? This is new. Oh, yep, this is new.
I've lost track of you. Okay, I've been in here, so that's definitely not where you went.
I woke up. I dropped down in the ladder room.
Okay, I did that too. And then I walked down a side path, and the road forked, and I'm making a left now. And... Okay, I see you. There you are. Yeah, for some reason I thought we'd gone this way, and we had not.
The staircase looked very similar to the big first staircase we came across.
Gotcha.
So I think that's why we... Or we just didn't look at it. That's probably possible.
Who knows? Yeah. No, we were talking about a lot of good stuff. We were distracted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I can't wait to play another proper Metroid game again. I guess there's a lot of the old ones I still haven't played.
Yeah.
Never played Fusion.
But just going through Prime 1 again is like... It's so good. It's so fun. I don't know. I just really love the way they handled the mechanics, and it's like a 3D Metroidvania that I feel like you don't see a lot.
Yeah. Actually, like, it feels like Souls-like stuff is the closest you get, really.
Oh, skittery friend.
Ooh. Hooray.
Why was he just hanging out there? Oh, look at this. It's like a broken up cage.
Hang on. Oh, yeah, it kind of is. Cool. What's in here?
Some mine work. Oh, this is below the
Oh, below the elevator. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow, these guys hit hard.
Nice. Yeah, I remember adoring Metroid Prime when I played it. How did you... So it's been so long since I played Prime 2 and 3. Have you played them recently at all?
Yes. Not recently, but I've played them a few times when I did play them. I destroyed the traps there.
Oh, okay, good. I was waiting. How did you think 2 and 3 held up to 1? Because it has been so long for me. I don't even remember.
So I definitely like 1 the best. I think I would say I like 3 after that. 2 is fun, but I remember being frustrated because there's the whole like light and dark mechanic, like the
light
the
and dark
phase on
world
or whatever.
Yeah.
And you would just take damage while you were in the other one. So it's kind of like a running clock.
I remember that now. That is very familiar.
Yeah, and I remember being frustrated at that, but I liked 3 from memory because that's like, hey, here's these other bounty hunters that like Samus has worked alongside with, and that was a cool thing of like the mutual kind of respect between them of like, yeah, they all know and can do their own thing.
Yeah.
But then things happen.
Then things happen.
How do we get out of here?
I'm also wondering. I'm kind of wandering in a
okay,
direction.
it was the elevator, right? Okay, so...
Oh, you're probably right. Hang on. Yeah, let me backtrack to where you and that are. There we go. Way down there. Yeah, where's the stairs? There you go.
We did it.
We did do it. Now,
I also remember liking the motion controls in 3, but that could have also been like fascination with the Wii at the time. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was still pretty novel. Then.
Like, oh, a puzzle piece, and I have to rotate it into the slot.
Did they ever release the trilogy? Is that out like on the Switch or the Wii U at least with like sans motion controls now?
It is on the Wii U.
Okay.
And I recall not liking it because I think they added like motion controls.
Oh yeah.
Into it. I remember picking it up on the Wii U and being like, oh, I don't want to play this because 1 and 2 don't have like the original control scheme. Or something like that. I don't know how accurate I am in that statement, but that's... I did not play through them again, and I feel like that is why.
Yeah, I feel like if I were to go back and play the trilogy now, I would want to play those first 2 on a GameCube, I think.
Yeah.
As they were meant to be. Unless they feel like releasing some ports that work without motion controls on any of them in the future, that'd be great too.
Yeah. I'm 100% expecting when 4 comes out, a trilogy to release. I feel... Or like... Next E3, trailer drops for Prime 4, and they release 1, 2, and 3 as a trilogy to catch you up to speed. I feel like that's just a smart play, but then again, it's Nintendo, so who knows?
The obvious smart play.
Exchange a friend code.
Exchange friend code. Yeah. All right. Big fire dog. Please no hit, bite, or burn. We're just trying to get through. Yeah. Just gonna go to this other form so I can reach you. Come on.
Embark.
Oh, hey. Staggered the feats. Yeah.
Oh.
Exploding. I'm really glad that didn't do damage.
Me too.
Because it would have
I was like,
hit me.
uh-oh. He's pretty close. Yeah, just remember when it does the swirlies.
Oh, nice.
That's the big explosion that we need to, like, book it.
Right. Like so.
Ah.
Yeah, that's okay though. We can get right to the boss again and get back to this death cycle. It'll give us another try or two
Yeah.
before calling it a day.
This one I remember it took us a while.
It did take us a while. This one took us a lot of tries.
I am going to warp back so I can get
That's a good idea.
some vials and bullets because I'm low.
You're going to need all those things.
All of them. Every single one. Outside of PlayFrame and recording, have you been any little personal playtime you've been doing, or are you too deep in Sonic?
I'm very deep in trying to get that way too big Sonic episode done. I really bit off more than I could chew on this, and I'm just hoping I can get it done before the end of the year, and expecting it's going to be January. But
yeah,
it's large. I think it'll be good. Boy, I hope.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It feels good having all the recording done, so I don't have to play Sonic games anymore, which is nice. But on my own time, like, a lot of what I'm doing is dipping into games that came out this year for an hour or two just to check their animation and see, like, oh, should this go in the favorites of 2020 video later?
Yeah.
So I've gotten to dip into a bunch of things like that, and that's been fun. I still I'm trying to chip away at the Witcher 3 a little bit, which seems futile because, like, as we speak now, Cyberpunk comes out in less than a week, so oh well. I guess I'm not finishing The Witcher. What else? I've honestly, like, in my free time, like, I just finished recording it now, but I was just kind of playing the Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory for fun, just sort of as a wind down game at the end of the day, just because rhythm games are kind of good for that for me. And enjoyed it a good bit. Yeah, I've been, like, having a good old time with that one, but I think, honestly, the thing I'm most excited to start playing now is Final Fantasy 15 tomorrow, because like, I've been playing through all those games, like, just chipping away at them every Sunday. Just Carrie and I chill out and play through Final Fantasy stuff for future New Frame Plus things, and I finally got through the 13 trilogy, which feels great to be done with. And so now I can just play 15 and finally play all the way through it, and I'm very looking forward to it, especially after a whole lot of 13 trilogy stuff, which I wanted so bad to like it. I was really wanting to come back in and, like, all right, years have passed. I've changed a good bit. My perspective on these things has changed a good bit. I hope, like, that I'll come into this and find stuff to like. And I have found some things to like in them, but it's just impossible to.
Bummer.
Yeah. Oh well. But I'm really excited about 15 though, because I really liked what I've played of that one, and after that it's just pretty much from here out, it's all Final Fantasy games that I like pretty well.
Good. That's probably a nice treat. From what I played of 13, I can't imagine playing 3 of them.
They're all quite different is the thing. Like, 13 is definitely, like, it has plenty of problems that 13.2 tries to solve, and it does. Like, the combat and the battle system and progression are a little bit better. They've, like, smoothed out some of the rough edges, but it still has so many of the same narrative and character problems that 13 had. 13.3 is really different, and actually my favorite of them to play. The combat works really differently. The flow and structure of the game are not always super successful, but interesting, and they've definitely tried some new cool stuff out with it that I enjoyed. But ultimately, that is not a trilogy for me. I'm glad to be done with it. Moving on. I'm really excited to eventually get to playing 14, and because Carrie and I will, like, play a bunch of that together, and I can start a little Play Friends free company or link shell or both, or whatever they call them. I'm looking forward to 14, because every time I hear people talking about playing 14, like on Twitter somewhere, they seem like they're having a blast.
Yeah. I've tried to play 14 just because everyone seems to, like, praise it. And it's, like, the only pretty much reason I want to give it a go, because I'm very not MMO friendly these days.
Sure. Understandable.
But yeah, everyone talks about it, and it's got me, like, so intrigued.
Yeah, no, as an old-time Final Fantasy XI player who, like, I'm chipping away at 11 as well, just for the same series, and it's nostalgic, and I enjoy 11 well enough, but it's not a game I would recommend to anybody. It's very old-school MMO. And 14 seems to have all the same appeal that 11 had, with none of the time-wasting nonsense, or not nearly as much, relatively speaking. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's put this pupper in its place.
That's what I'm ready to do that. I'm prepared. We've played with our food long enough.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could go for a visceral or something.
It's weird. I feel like those are just like staggers.
Which I'll take it.
But I can't tell.
Ew.
Oh, that was a chunky hit I just got. And a death.
Yeah.
He went where no one was, so that's why I was like, oh, I'm clearly I can dodge this way, be safe. But no, I think he was afraid of you, and he was just like, I gotta run.
Didn't seem so afraid of me anymore for some reason. Seems to have found its confidence. The old fire dog. Ow. Still alive for the moment. Boy, how great would it be if Souls-like bosses, when your co-op partner dies, went back to HP scale they would be if you were solo.
Would be real nice.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. I feel like I'm okay with that.
I've died.
It is frustrating, but it's also one of those, like, a lot of bosses you trivialize just by having two people in them.
That's true.
And it's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, there is kind of a risk reward inherent to, like, all right, but if one of you dies, you're locked in a room with this thing.
Yeah, the other one's gonna have a bad time.
Oh my gosh, you just reminded me. So I'm way late to catching up on, like, GDQ VODs and stuff. Like, I just watched some from, like, 2020, like their last live event, as far as I know. I had not seen the Clone Hero run. Holy cow, that was fun.
Clone Hero?
Clone Hero is, so, like, you know, people who are, like, super good at Guitar Hero and stuff. Imagine people who are, imagine Mario Maker 2 for Guitar Hero buffs, and the sorts of charts they would make for each other. And you're, like, no longer bound by the limitations of what the developers of Guitar Hero think is reasonable to expect of a human. And that's what you can expect. And one of the coolest songs in it, in the run, like, it's a blast to watch anyway, but one of the coolest songs in it is one where one of the chart makers found a way to, like, hack the video component in the background so that they can have the chart be... It's impossible to explain without spoiling it, so I'm just going to recommend all of you go look up, and maybe I'll link to it if I remember, AGDQ 2020 Clone Hero Run. It is extremely fun to watch, and if you decide you don't want to watch the whole thing, at least skip towards the end for a real spectacle of a thing.
I'm intrigued.
I'm linking you to this later. It's a treat.
Yeah.
All right, dog. For real, though. We got things to do. We got, like, much more annoying bosses to...
Yeah.
Come on. I'm gonna go this other form. Just less damage per hit, but faster and more reach. No charging. Bad dog. Yep. No biting either. Bad the dog. Yep. Get away. Does that? Oh, oof. Yeah, it gets real mad after the whole stagger thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. Nope. Oh boy, that was close. Okay. Yeah. not feel safe being around your feet.
Yeah.
If you do a charge, that hitbox is definitely gonna count.
Yeah, he's a rough boss just because it's like, what is any of the hitbox?
Yep. All right, it's gonna explode. Get away! Get away! There it is. Okay. Fool me once.
I'm still waiting for his big nuke attack.
Yeah. It's all like spirally, you said?
It's got like the particles kind of like swirl around him.
Right. I remember. The Teostra thing, basically.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't played Monster Hunter in a while. Still got so much Iceborne to do.
I know. I haven't visited Fatalis yet. Oh, I disagree there.
Bad dog.
Darn.
I needed that jingle to live, dog. An uncool dog. Ow.
Bad dog.
Bad dog. I feel like this would be the only dog that you could send to one of those like dog rating Twitter accounts that would legit get a true low score. Bad dog.
Rate my dog. 0. Can't even pet the dog because it's too hot.
Cannot pet this dog. Yeah. Too hot to pet.
Have you ever seen that? It's like a photo of Silent Hill 1, and it's like he's inspecting the doghouse, and he goes, "Oh, a doghouse! I don't see a dog around." And one of the like zombie dogs is like mid jumping at him in frame.
I can picture it. I'm just gonna stand close to the dog and see how quickly that goes bad. High risk, high reward, it seems. Eek. So stompy. Well, high risk, about the same reward. Honestly. It does create an opening after an attack where I can definitely get in a hit.
That's good.
But then you die, so... All right.
It's bad.
Sorry, it just reminded me of the Simpsons bit. I'm going to say, let's give this one more shot. Let's give this one more shot on the hot dog. And if we get really close, maybe we'll give it more shots. But if we get shut down, then I'm going to say, let's take alternative routes to seeing the end of Chalice nonsense.
Okay.
There's so many games to play.
There he is. Oh, are you in the Hunter's Dream?
Not yet. Should I? Oh, I can be. Heck, I can. Yeah, let me go return to Dream because I want to see this thing.
Just since we were talking about it in this episode, I feel like it is a very cool detail.
Yeah, and I will totally forget. I will forget otherwise.
Every time I see it now, I'm like, man, I never noticed it.
Yeah, if I don't do it now, I will be too distracted by hot dog and not get anywhere. Yeah, it is kind of that, isn't it? Like it's got a coil sort of thing going on. Hold on, where's the binocular?
It's like the bent knee, right?
Yeah, it is.
And it's like hanging.
Wow, that's cool.
And it's got the arms crossed and then the headless neck. It's so cool.
All these little details, and I guess I never really looked super close at any of these.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if any of the rest of them are as interesting, but like they are all unique. That's cool. Can you actually see the... Oh yeah, like the actual chalice.
Yeah, they actually change depending on which chalice you put down.
That's cool. Let me see if I can look at some other of these. Okay, yeah. This one's definitely got some symbols on it, but too many leaves.
Too many leaves?
Too many leaves. So cool.
I went to the Hunter's Dream and there were too many leaves. 0 out of 10.
Worst vacation ever.
I would not stay at this bed and breakfast again. There was an old man who kept talking about dreams.
Kept waking me up.
I smelled of elderberries.
I kind of expected more from the DLC Tombstone, but it is also pretty basic.
Yeah. I think it was there when the first game launched, right? You just couldn't interact with it or anything.
Yeah, because every now and then the doll would be kneeling before it too, which is cool. Like every now and then you'd come back to town and she'd be kneeling over there.
Mm-hmm.
Which what a cool little like it's not hinting at anything really, but just it draws your attention to that one tombstone, and then later, oh hey, that thing's important. Wonder whose tomb it is. I wonder if any of these are anybody's actual tombs, or if these are really just decorative. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, it's weird. I don't know if it's just that, like, I've been thinking a lot about NES games and, like, how just totally unrealistic it is to expect your player to know certain things.
Huh.
Of, like Castlevania 2, like, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of...
Go in this spot and kneel for 10 seconds with this item. And your hint is NPC says pray. Like that's your hint. FromSoft really like stole that like for their DLC design, I feel.
The crypticness?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Just like I'm legit trying to think here. I would say other than Dark Souls 3, how are you supposed to know how to do so? Maybe even Dark Souls 2, but like Dark Souls 1 and FromSoft and Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Like I definitely looked it up because I was like, I have no idea what to even begin to look for.
Just to how to enter the DLC that I purchased, yeah.
I bought a thing, can I play it?
And if so, how? It is pretty wild, right?
Yeah, because I don't know why I'm just thinking, and I'm like, I don't know if there was an instance of like me just being like, yeah, I figured that one out. Because like Dark Souls 1, I don't believe you. If you
no way.
If you in comments said like, I figured out the DLC to Dark Souls 1 without, I don't believe you. You're lying.
You did not find your way in there. Don't fib. And Dark Souls 2s were, like, the way you access the DLC changed from base game to First Sin, yeah?
Well, yeah, like, so they moved where the keys were.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
now they were, like, actually scattered in the world. But the thing was, like, the shrines were always there.
Yeah.
So even still, like, thinking back on it, I was like, oh, this is a thing. And it's pretty much just have the key in your inventory and you can do the thing. It's not like revisit this place to get an NPC to spawn and then talk to the NPC when you free her from a crystal. If you have this item in your inventory, then you can go back to where you already killed the enemy, where you know there's nothing there, and there will be a portal there now. Go in the portal.
Yeah, just a corner of the world that you have zero reason to revisit.
Yeah.
After having seen there's nothing there once. You would never go back there again. It's ridiculous.
It is. It's pretty bonkers.
Yeah, 1 wins the award, yeah, like 3 you get stuffed into whether you want it or not very easily.
Yeah.
The first DLC, which I love.
Gail's like, let me show you how many DLC NPCs we can fit in here. And just zorp shit in.
Yeah. Check out these Pokemon cards. Gotcha!
And even, I think Ring City was like, hey, there's a bonfire now here.
I don't remember. How do you get into Ring City?
There's just an extra bonfire at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember now. Jeez. Boy, it has been a while. Going through Dark Souls 3 co-op is going to be like a... it's going to be like a first-time playthrough experience almost for me. I guess a lot of these kind of have...
Yeah, I'm excited to do Ring City again, because that, I think, I maybe have done it twice, but it must have been back-to-back, because I don't really remember it, thinking back on it now.
I feel like that's going to be a great co-op one.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one, because they really, like, went ham on how fun certain weapons are with the FP system.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have Explodey Boy here soon.
The hottest dog. Don't want to be on fire.
Right now? Yep.
There it is.
Okay.
Yep, gotta watch out for that. I'm gonna shoot you in the face, dog. Catch. Yeah. Boy, that was close.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know how much hitbox shenanigans gonna happen here, so...
I kind of love the talking fire, like blah 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 blah. I'm so mad.
Yeah.
That one's just cute. Yeah, whiff.
When I was playing Metroid recently, I was thinking back of, like, we don't ever really have even the slightest glimpse of personality for Ridley.
Yeah.
And just that one Smash Bros. Trailer is like the most personality we've gotten from Ridley, and it made me love Ridley so much more. Like, I don't know why, just like the taunting, like, oh, I killed Mario.
Ah, jeez.
Oh, dang.
Well, we didn't get closer that time,
he's
but
getting sick.
oh, bad dog. Tell you what, y'all. I think we are going to find other ways to see this end stuff. It's just maybe if Dan and I hadn't already done it, we had thought that if we could just get him through on his side, that he'd be able to summon me in for the rest. But since we both have to do it, this just kind of sucks, and it's not fun to do or fight through again. So we're going to find another way to show y'all the cool final boss stuff, and then we'll just kind of move on from there.
Yeah.
So sorry we're not getting all the way through it, but geez, we got so many other things we could do with our time.
So many.
So many other. So thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you next time for further into this place, and then more Bloodborne. Honestly, it could be the finale. It could just be a long finale that happens next time. I don't know. We'll find out, though.
Yeah.
Y'all, take it easy, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye, y'all.